happiness only when you begin to live for others. But I experienced the
You got it? Say it. I think you got it. Opposite.
I used to live for glory.
Glory means. Never mind. Keep going.
What is glory? The same as love for others, the desire to do something for them, the desire for their praise.
You got it. Come on.
Praise.
Come on. Praise. You said praise, so that was really close. That's why.
Mm-hmm. So I lived for others and ruined my life, and not almost, but completely. And I've been at peace since I began living for myself alone. But how can you live for yourself alone? Asked Pierre, becoming hated. What about your son and sister, your father? But they're the same as myself. They're not others, said Prince Andre, and others, one's neighbors, as Prince Maria called peasants of yours to whom you want to do good. And he gave Pierre a mockingly defiant look. He was clearly defying Pierre. You're joking, said Pierre, growing more and more animated.
Wait.
Is this animated?
Yeah, animated.
What error and evil can there be in my wish fulfilled very little and poorly? My wish to do good, and in my doing at least something, what evil can there be if those rich people are peasants, people like us who grew up and died, who know others' notion of God, and who's then the an icon and a meaningless prayer and taught comforting about the future life, retribution, reward, comfort, help when it's so easy to help them merely, and I give them a dock and a hospital and a shelter for the agree. And isn't a unquestionable
Good job.
Good if a peasant or a woman with a baby has no peace day or night, and I give the rest and lecture, said Pierre, hurrying and lisping, and I've done that though poorly through very little, but I've done something and you not only want to come
Convince, yeah.
Me that what I've done was not good, but also, you also won't convince me that you don't think so yourself. And above all, Pierre went on, this I know and know for Kirtland, that pleasure of doing good is the happiness in life. Yes, if you put the question that way, it's another matter, said Pierre. Prince Andre, I built a house and convinced a garden, and you build hospitals both and serve to pass the time. But what's right, what's good, what is for the one who knows all to judge, not for us. Well, you want to
argue.
He asked. So the argue.
No, let's argue.
That's argue.
Let's
argue. They left the table and sat on the porch, which took the place of a balcony.
You got it?
Sorry,
I didn't see it. Balcony.
Well, let's argue then, said Prince Andre. Schools, you said, he went on, raising a finger, instruction, and so on. That is, you want to lead him out of his animal condition, he said, pointing to Musk, who took off his hat as he passed by and gave him normal needs. But it seems to me that the only possible happiness is animal happiness, and you want to deprive him from it. I heavy him, and you want to make me into me, but without giving him my intelligence or my feelings or my second. You say lightening his work, but in my occupation, physical labor is much as necessary for him, as much a condition for his mental labor is for you and me. You cannot think, I gotta go to bed past 2:00. I have thoughts and can't sleep. I toss about. I don't fall asleep until morning because I'm thinking and I cannot think, as he cannot not pillow or Mal, otherwise he'll go to the pot house or fall ill, just as I could not stand his terrible physical labor and would die in a week. So he could not stand my physical identities. He'd grow fat and die. Third, what was it you said? Prince Andre raised a third finger. Ah, yes, hospital medicines. He has a stroke. He's dying, but you let his blood, you cure him, and he'll go around crippled for another 10 years, a burden on everyone. It's far more simple and easy for him to die, otherwise be born. There are lots of him as it is. You might be sorry to lose an extra worker. That's how I don't look at him. But no, you want to cheer him out of love as ever cheer anybody killed. Yes, he's said, frowning spitefully and turning away from Pierre. Prince Andrei spoke his mind so clearly and distinctively that it was evident he had thought about more than once. And he spoke angrily and quickly, like a man who hasn't spoken for a long time. His gaze became more animated. The more hopeless, the more patients were. That's terrible, said Pierre. I don't understand how once ago in Moscow and the road, but then I go so much to need that I don't live. I find everything vile above all myself. I don't eat then. Don't wash. Well, now it with you. Why don't you wash? Not clean, said Prince Andrei. On the contrary, one must try to make one's life as pleasant as possible. I'm alive, and it's not my fault, which means I must somehow go on living the best I can without both earning anybody until I die. But what makes you live with such thoughts? You'll sit without moving, without undertaking anything. Life won't leave one alone as it is. I'd be glad to do nothing, but then on the one hand, the local mobility seemed me worthy of being
elected.
There, so I barely got out of it. They couldn't understand that I don't have what it takes. Don't nature and busting banality needed for it.
Go down the line.
Then there, this house, which had to be built so as to have a corner where I could be at peace now. It is the mill. Why aren't you serving in the army? After Austrians, Prince Andrei said glooming, no, I humbly thank you. I promised myself that you would not serve in the active Russian army, and but I wouldn't if Bonaparte was camped. There is smoke. Between bald hills. Even then, I wouldn't serve in the Russian army. Well, as I was saying, Prince Andre went on climbing down. Now it's the father is commander-in-chief of the 3rd District, and my only means of avoiding service is to be with him. Which means do you serve? I do, he paused briefly. So why do you serve? Here's why. My father is one of the most remarkable men of his time, but he's getting older, and it's not that he's cruel, but he has all too active a character. He's frightening in his habit of limited power, and now with this power, the town best on him by the silver as a commander-in-chief of the military. If I bestowed on him by the silver had been 2 hours late a couple of weeks ago, and have hanged a pathologist in Prince Andre, and with a smile, so I serve because no one expect for me has any infusion on my father, and at some point I may have to save him from an act from which he might serve later. Well, so you see, yes, Prince Andre went on. I never wished, or do I wish now, any good to the...
Got it? You have a receipt? Wait. Sorry, Atticus. Scoundrel
of a pathologist who stole some boots from the military men. I'd even be very pleased to see him hang, but I peacefully, my father, that is again myself. Prince Andre was becoming more and more animated, his eyes shone ever, and all the while, he was trying to prove to Pierre that there never was any wish for his neighbor's good in his action. Well, here you want to embrace the peasants. He went on, that's very good, but not for you. I suppose you would never wish anyone to death or send them to Sabra, and still less for the peasants. If they're being whipped and and go on with his rest life, and the wells on his body will heal, and he'll be as happy as he was before. But he needed for those people who are morally run life to repeat it, surprised the reprint and turned course, because they have the possibility of punching justly and unjustly, who are the ones I pitiably, and for those whose stake I would wish for the embracement for the peasants. Maybe you haven't seen it, but I've seen good people brought up in his action, limited power, as they become more interested over the years, become cruel. Of course, no, it can't help themselves and become more and more unhappy to hear that these thoughts had been suggested to Prince Andre by his father. He made no reply. So there is what and whom to be sorry for human society, peace for saved him while his still remaining him backs and his no 1,000 times no, I'll never agree with you, said Pierre. In the evening, Prince Andre and Pierre got into a carriage and drove to Bald Hills. Prince Andre, glancing at Pierre, broke the silence from him to time. Speechless, which proved that he was in a...
Wait,
get ready and clean up.
Where are you at right now?
I'm here, so I'll just go here. Here.
Oh wait, you're right. You finished right here?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, that's good, because then you can start here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You can do this whole paragraph.
Now?
No. I think you can stop now.
You guys can stop now and clean up.